sniping in Tabor, well, it's obviously more difficult than one would think because, well, most people would recommend you probably get a gun stock to go along with it, but I would say that the M1A SASS is probably my the best well, it's not really a sniper, it's more like a DMR, but close enough. I have a Night Force and a laser on, and yeah, I'm just gonna take it and I'll see you guys in raid. I find it pretty often we come back to this place every single time. But anyways, yeah, I would say this. But yeah, anyways, what's there to say about the M1A SASS? Well, it was probably, I I think in like the earlier stages of the game, it was probably considered one of the better weapons in Tabor, just due to the fact that it was chambered in 7.62 by 51. 7.62 by 51 is one of the best rounds in the game. It hits the hardest. FN fouls really up there in terms of strength. So easy to say that this gun's probably up there in terms of like the best of the best. I have the 20 rounders here because well, I mean, technically the 50 rounders are better, but I just think the 20 rounders look nicer, you know. You should probably be using the 50 rounders if you even remotely take this game seriously, which I would imagine if you're playing a game as masochistic as Tabor on, especially for the PvPers, you would probably want to, you know, have as many bullets without having to reload. But to be fair, in the first place, you should really be prioritizing, not having to spray and pray. So I also don't have a silencer on because I like the sound of the M1A SASS. I had one. We had a couple of these bad boys back in the military, but it wasn't tan. It was all black, and it had a tripod at the end, and the people who use it were some of the laziest fucking assholes uh, I ever knew. We only had 2 per company, and both of them were big asses. Actually, for some reason, the marksmen of like my particular military company were always destined to have just like the fucking worst bottom of the barrel of humanity, apparently, because one's a fucking womanizer, and then the other was a pedophile. I kid you not. I that guy fucked the fucked an underage woman, or not woman. He fucked an underage girl. Uh, and then because that guy also, I mean, before he did that thing, he um he was also apparently he you know faked an illness and got out of being a sniper, and then his replacement was a failed fighter pilot. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty easy to see why he's a failed fighter pilot with all that lack of absolute basic decency, common sense, and humanity. But in any case, but in any case, They used the M1A SASS. Didn't it wasn't didn't really I don't remember it being as thick as this or having that much exposed internals. Yeah, they basically, well, this is more of like a modified M1 Garand because of this thing. Theirs was probably closer to like an M110, I guess. It's closer to that, but they also use 7.62x51 one. They never fired a round because in our military they for some reason could supply me, the person who used the M240B, which is the same round, by the way, with belts upon belts of ammo, but apparently they couldn't supply this guy with any actual ammunition. So whenever it came for like training exercises and since after I became part of like the special weaponry team, I never really had to touch I never really had to touch room clearing and stuff like that ever again. So I became Op 4 along. Well, okay, I didn't really become Op 4 because my shtick was more so assisting enemy teams, but on occasion we would play Op 4, I guess. And this guy, what they gave him instead of like the whole laser system was his own separate unique laser system where his thing would be triggered by something as simple as literally pulling pulling the trigger on an empty magazine, which is fucking crazy, because that would mean that he would have never had to actually clean his gun, which is fucking hilarious. Cause I mean he's not shooting the gun, right? So there's not gonna be any soot on the gun. So it's very little, and then so one of the laziest people got one of the laziest people got the laziest jobs. So it was really well, for a little bit of more context. Oh, I found the hell yeah. For a bit more context, the special weaponry platoon was divided into two. You had the machine gunners, which was my area, of the bunk, and then you had the all the special needs children, which is basically everything else. You had the signalers, you had the snipers, you had the anti-tank personnel. So those are all the special children. You know, my side of the bunker was at least had a very decent head on their shoulders, even if some people were being pricks. Most of them were genuinely nice. The other bunk of people were the genuinely unhinged ones, and God, I hope I never see them again when I go back to reservists. I do not need to go back and find and to see those brain damaged individuals ever again. Please, somewhere in between now and reservists, please either get deported or killed in some way, and I never have to see you again. Please, for the love of God. Anyways, yeah, the fact that I'm kind of saying that really gives you an idea of how bad they were. I mean, I have a whole like log of like the stupidity that went on in the military, but not worth discussing all of them. But yeah, basically, you know, they had a laser, they had their own special laser aiming device, and of course they also went to actually shoot their guns, but specifically only during the period in time where they were doing like live firing testing. They never actually shot their guns outside of that, and then after their live firing they had the gall to fucking complain about having to clean their guns. Like, I'm not shooting like 600 rounds every single time I breathe with my M240 Bravo. I wanted to try to become a sniper, but to be honest, like, I mean, shit, man. Seeing how fucking seeing how fucking seeing how fucking good the the sniper heads got it. Shit, I would have wanted to become one of them as well. But I mean, in hindsight, probably not, because that would mean that I would have had to eventually go be under that one sergeant who I especially severely dislike. So yeah, probably not. I don't know why I'm trying to hit. I saw movement, but can't find him anymore. Guess it just never sat right with me that the laziest people were also the biggest pieces of shit. Well, speaking of which, I guess. No, wait. This isn't. What am I doing? This is that's the Stanag. That's the Stanag drum mag. I didn't even pick up that. Whatever, dude. Everything has to always harken back to my military, huh? I don't play Ready or Not VR specifically for the case that I might get some nightmares about having to about my time in the military. Because I mean, I did spend like my first 3 months in unit as as a urban ops specialist. I guess I still would be technically qualified for an urban ops specialist. I just can't do it like I do in the fucking in fucking Tabor, and just wheeled around the M240 Bravo, because it. I mean, they had to make it work somehow. So I guess in the game I'm just a fucking superhuman. I would never in real life. In real life, I doubt most people would be able to you know, do what I do in Tabor, unless you're like a marine or something, because those guys train hard as fuck. So it makes a lot of sense for them to be physically able and strong enough to attain such feats. I was not ever trained for such a feat. I kind of just half-assed my way through all my exercises in the military, so not surprising there. I mean, I hated my time there anyway, so I don't regret wasting my. Probably down. Feels like there's more than 20 rounds in here. Sometimes it feels like the ammo loader jams more ammunition inside, and it makes no sense. But oh well. But well, suffice to say is that that I would have been down to learn the gun at the very least. That's one of the few guns that I never actually learned in my time as the military. Well, in terms of small arms, anyways. Um, yeah, I learned how to use our standard rifle. I learned how to use a rifle with the grenade launcher attachment. I learned how to shoot. I learned how to shoot a anti-tank. Well, it's called the Matador. So, but it's basically it's an anti-tank anti-door. You use it on a tank or a door. You know. You know. I just remembered the cruelty of the whole situation of doing the fake firing, because I specifically remember getting called out for not being able to hold my the thing. It's basically you basically just hold it like that. Treat this like a thing. Or well, it's kind of like this. Just imagine holding this, and then there's just this, just like you have to hold like this an entire stick, and giant stick on the back of your on your shoulder. Yeah, no, it was quite heavy. So yeah, I got called out for like having cause they use a laser system for like the technical handling tests, and then they just and then when to reload the Matador, so to speak, you just close the thing and then you open it again. So I just had to fucking keep closing, opening, keep closing, opening. You wouldn't even be expected to hold it you know, for that long anyway. So I don't fucking know. So I don't know why I got called out for you know, not being able to hold it long enough. I mean, I dropped it because it was fucking heavy, but Jesus Christ, my shoulder was dying. Ah, finally we got this damn fucking Mahina, dude. Took way too long to find that. Apparently I have a turn-in 3 SSDs thing. It was really funny. It was really funny, the whole technical handling thing with all the lasers, cause you know, I just remember that a warrant officer called us murderers because because during the technical handling test, the two guys who were doing the technical handling test against in a scenario where someone went ahead and fucking where in like the fake video, someone went ahead and fucking and and just shot the person in the fucking chest and the head. He called us a fucking murderer because apparently we didn't shoot the fucking dismember, we shot the kill. And it's like bitch, you were old ass man, and you don't realize that if someone has snatched a gun from you, you would be shoot to kill too. Like, why we lying? Anyways, in any case, yeah, it's just. Oh yeah, and there was one, and out of, since I was the grenadier before I was I was a grenadier before I was a machine gunner, and while I was while I was uh, we were doing the grenadier technical handling test, some idiot actually failed his technical handling test, and he was the only one to fail it because he didn't understand the fundamentals of the M202 grenade launcher. You have to aim through the sight on the side of it, and not through the fucking rifle scope to aim your grenade launcher. But yeah, I learned grenade launcher. I learned Matador. I also learned the Ultimax. I also learned the Ultimax, which is like an automatic weapon. And then they also decided that they needed to modernize their guns. So instead of using the Ultimax, they soon changed it into the Colt IAR, which is a very very good weapon. It's basically an M4 carbine, but it's got like a real, think of it more of like a HK 416, I guess, but it's called the Colt infantry automatic rifle or something along those lines. Very very fancy, very very nice weapon. I First time in my life I could do the you know, first time in my life I ever did it. What else? Machine gun, obviously. I never learned the specialized version of the Matador, but I mean it's basically the same thing, cause I mean those fuckers who were supposed those fuckers specialists who were supposed to learn that specialized version themselves also never technically got cleared for it ever, so it's not exactly like those people know more than I do. They only know the theory of it. They only know the theory of it. They've never actually fired one before in their lives. So their small arms proficiency just mainly lies therein with strictly the, what's it called? It mainly lies therein with just the standard rifle. Yeah, I just remembered during my summary exercise, I missed the door during my CQP. That was the fucking funniest thing ever. you just like because I was wearing goggles that had fogged up, and they weren't anti-fog, so it was so fucking annoying. Also here, you can put this on. Here's what it sounds like. Pretty cool, huh? There was no innate anti-fog on our goggles, so I couldn't see shit while room clearing, which is pretty fucking stupid. But I mean, I didn't notice a door on my right. Think of it this way. It's like we entered through this area, we breached, and then left side was clear, but then there was a door like right here, and I didn't see it cause we entered through like this, and I sweep this way, and because I couldn't see shit, and I also didn't notice the door right here, so I said right room clear, and then the fucking lieutenant just walks in and is like, hey, I fuck you. I mean, I guess if I can laugh about it, I didn't really have the worst time, I guess. But I mean, it's fun to look back. It's not fun because they made us redo They made us constantly train and train for it, and I was working off of 2 hours of sleep. So fun times, fun fucking times. I hope that I genuinely hope that that for all future intents and purposes I don't actually go back to doing infantry when I return. I mean, especially because of my knee now. So I guess I wouldn't. I guess I'm not technically considered eligible for infantry anymore. But yeah, you know, I like this gun a lot. I wish that I actually got to use it in when I was in the military. I never handled a pistol either, just because they didn't really they instead just armed everyone with rifles, which is certainly an idea. I wouldn't say it's a bad idea because it just means that everyone, regardless of rank, has the same firepower. It's just that obviously you make the troopers carry all the heavier stuff, which is pretty fucking funny. A top labs on island. Fuck, was it back here? Ah, fucking I already passed it. God damn it. Just chill with the boys. I do there are some people which I would be more than happy to see when I return back, but genuinely, like most of the people, I'm not excited to see again. Everyone was just such a bad character. You could chalk it up to you know, the military, so they could get away with whatever they wanted, but I see it as you know, being inherently exploitative of a system that is fundamentally broken anyways. I mean, if you can act this way, if you could act the way they did, those people that I don't like did, and I'm sure they don't like me as well. Don't get it twisted. I'm sure I'm as detestable as I am to them, but I don't throw people under the bus unless in the first place the people themselves were trying to throw me under the bus in the first place. I wasn't inherently exploitative of other people like they were. That I'll put it that way. Most of the people there were just willing to just lie down and accept things for the way they were. I never personally agreed with it. I always spoke my mind whenever I could, because I felt it was unfair, and the whining was annoying for the people who were around me hearing it. Yes, but I mean, it's better I whine than I actually just let it stew and suffer in silence. Suffering in silence was was the one thing that I never let myself do. So you know, it completely occurred to me that in the other video that I made today, it completely escaped my mind that I didn't actually talk about, like, I didn't specify that my military service was compulsory, so it just seems, so now that thinking back to it, it just sounds like I'm an asshole who sounded like I was way too good for everyone. But I mean whatever, right? People out there are gonna think I'm an asshole one way or another. I'm sure those people who I'm talking shit about right now, like the snipers, think they're perfectly fine, decent human beings. I also think that they are objectively wrong, but that's That's only if but that's only a statement that the people that truly stick around them can make, because those people are out of my life now. And I'm talking about it, sure, yeah, so I guess they do live rent-free in my head, but I think there's some inherent value, considering that a gun like this or similar to this was basically used in my time as a conscript anyways. So valuable lesson, you know, you can get away, just because you can get away with anything in the military doesn't mean that you should, because I mean, it's not like any of those people and I will ever work in the same job scope, but fact of the matter is that the real decent people don't need to fucking scream and shout and do anything. They do everything through actions, and the actions are the only thing that actually matters. When push came to shove, none of them were willing to do anything about it, and they instead pushed and shoved my bunker to go and do it because they were too fucking lazy to do it themselves. Which, I mean, I guess it's not really surprising behavior at that point, because God forbid they actually ever do anything. As you can tell, this gun is not really great for CQB, because that's not the point. I'm just gonna let that flow out, even though I capped it. Alright, well. So yeah, holy shit. It just occurred to me that I haven't actually yet spoken about why I prefer the M1A SASS over the, over any of the other snipers. Just to put it simply, well, okay, I'll do it for the outro, I guess. All that yapping just for me to not even actually talk about the actual gun itself, and just talk about the fucking people who were remotely related to this gun. Fucking hell, dude. Alright, I'll see you guys at the outro. Alright, and that's gonna be it for this video. So why do I think that the gun is better than the other snipers? Well, mostly because it's semi-automatic, so you don't need to rack the bolt every single time. I mean, that's kind of why, you know, most sniper rifles were kind of phased out, sorta. I mean, okay, for dedicated snipers, bolt actions would work better, but for most marksmen in the military, you would rather use something semi-automatic, like the M1A SASS. I would say that a probably direct competitor to this is probably something like the Dragunov, I guess, but you get the point, is that semi-automatic is better for the intents and purposes of a of just like a general marksman, and it fits better into the general playstyle of Tabor, because I mean you're constantly moving around. Bolt action and the true sniper playstyle is to honestly just camp in one high vantage point, wait for someone to cross over, and then you just fucking duke them. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.